All right, dude. Well, first of all, how's your tour going?
It's going great. We're about 2.5 weeks in of the North American leg, and we already hit Europe and South America. They were both awesome, and we're having a great time. It's awesome.
Sweet, dude. Yeah, obviously, this is the first tour you guys have done with Mike Portnoy in 15 years, which is
Yeah.
crazy. What is
Yeah.
that like? Does it even feel like it's been that long?
Well, in some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. I mean, we've accomplished so much um, over those not only the past 15 years, but over 40 years. I mean, it's crazy that we're doing a 40th anniversary. Um, but Mike coming back was like, we didn't miss a beat. He's just like our buddy and our brother, and it just feels so great to have him back, and just playing live on stage together again. You can feel the energy and the chemistry is just so evident. You look out in the audience and people are just loving it. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really excited to see that, dude. Something I gotta ask you, this might sound weird, but were
Sure.
you like good at math growing up?
I was. I was
Yeah.
good at math. Yeah, I was in like the highest accelerated math class.
See, that makes sense. When I listen
Yeah,
to you play guitar, I'm like, he's gotta be a wizard at math. He's gotta like it sounds like you're doing calculus with your
right,
guitar, if
exactly.
that makes
Well,
sense.
here's the funny thing. I took all those, calculus and trig and all that stuff, but I don't remember shit. Like I haven't done it since. Yeah, so I used to be good at it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't even know how to ask you this, but like when I listen to you guys, there are just so many different weird time signatures and
Yeah.
tempo changes and songs are just a journey all over the place. How do you do that live? Like how do you not get lost or you know what I mean? Like do you just
Yeah.
totally lock in or do you have to like not think about it too hard? How does that
Right.
work?
Well, I think it's different for every member. Like for example, Jordan is sight reading the show, so he has an iPad with the music, so he follows that.
Hmm.
For me, I don't do that. I have it memorized, but the best way I could describe it is, let's say you're driving somewhere and it's a route that most of the route you don't really think about where you're driving. You're just driving, you kind of know it, but when you hit a certain landmark, okay, I got to make a right here because that's where the Citibank is on the corner. So with Dream Theater songs, those inflection points are the things that lets me know what the next part is. It could be a rhythmic thing, it could be a melody, it could be some sort of connection. Um, and that's what lets me know that, okay, this next part is changing and coming up. And then as I'm in the part, I don't really have to think about it. So that's the best way I can explain it
Hmm.
from my perspective.
No, that actually totally makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, that is crazy though, that you don't need any notes or anything. I mean, do you ever look at your drummer and like, hey, like, is this right here? Do you do that too?
You know what? We don't do that. We look at each other when something goes horribly wrong, and then we kind of laugh at each other. But there's a lot of trust in that too. If somebody's going off the rails, we like to have each other's back so we don't have a complete train wreck. But um, yeah, we don't need to like cue each other if that's what you mean. Like
Hmm.
visually cue each other. Yeah, everybody kind of is just responsible for knowing how to play the song. that's
Yeah.
that's our main job.
You make it sound so simple when you say that,
Right.
but your
Yeah.
songs are just so complicated. Like I said, it totally makes sense to me that you are great at math.
Thanks. Yeah, it makes sense. Also, the other thing is, sometimes when you listen to complicated music, it's it could be a little overwhelming to ingest, but if you look at each section, if you break it down into smaller pieces, it makes it easier as well. You know, you could look at this whole big, octavarium. It's like however long the freaking song is. how could you memorize that? But if you break it down into this each little small section, then it's more palatable.
Right. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
remember Bruce Dickinson saying, like, when they were writing Power Slave, they didn't
Yeah.
realize how long those songs
Right.
were. They were just doing their thing. And then when they were finished with the song, they're like, oh man, this is 12 or 13 minutes long.
Sure.
Is it
Yeah.
similar with you guys?
Yeah. That generally does happen. I mean, I think when we write the really long songs, the ones that we like to call epics, like on the new album, The Shadow Man Incident, when the song's hitting up to 20 minutes, then we are going about it knowing that we're writing an epic. I mean, sometimes it just happens, like on the new record, like Night Terror turned out to be long. It's just, we didn't mean for it to. It just did, like you said, Bruce Dickinson's quote. And in other instances, sometimes we purposely try to make something shorter, which is a challenge in itself. And
Hmm.
then sometimes we just go and we say, hey guys, we're going to write this epic. So then you have the freedom to really explore and let the song and the sections breathe and not worry about time.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
bring up Bruce Dickinson, by the way, because you guys do remind me of Iron Maiden. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's pretty obvious you guys were heavily influenced by them, and I learned that you guys used to play a lot of Iron Maiden and Rush covers in the early days, right?
We sure did. I mean, me and John Myung, we met when we were in middle school, so we were like 12, and all we did was play Maiden song. We knew every single Maiden song from Number of the Beast and Peace of Mind, um, and we were also huge Rush fans. I mean, Rush is my favorite band of all time. So, I think those when John and I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston when we were 18, and met Mike Portnoy there, and that was definitely something we all had in common is that we were huge Rush fans, huge Maiden fans. That kind of brought us together.
Right on. And I just wanted to ask you, have you ever met any members from either of those bands?
So with Iron Maiden, we actually we did a tour opening for them, which was awesome. That was many, many years ago. I forget how many. At least 15 because Mike was in the band.
Hmm.
And we did a whole tour with them, which was great. It's like touring with your heroes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's just gotta feel crazy, right?
it
I mean,
was
were you like a
crazy.
little kind of giddish and
Yes,
like
totally.
oh
Yeah.
nervous?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, and plus you're playing in front of a Maiden crowd, which is, they're a hard crowd to welcome an opening band. But,
Right,
I've met since a lot of fans that say that that's the first time they saw us was opening for Maiden, and then they became a fan. So, in that respect, it worked. That's why you do opening things.
right.
Um, Rush, I've met Alex. I never, and I actually met Getty too. Never Neil, unfortunately. So,
Mm.
yeah,
I mean, they say never meet your heroes, but those guys have really good reputations. I'm sure it
yeah.
was like
Oh,
awesome,
totally.
right?
No, totally awesome. Yeah, those guys are all really cool and so nice for sure. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Oh, I wanted to ask you, speaking of getting nervous, my
Mm.
favorite Dream Theater song is Panic Attack, and I
Okay.
know that you wrote the lyrics to that too, didn't you?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, so I think part of the reason I love it is because I have panic attacks, and I just wanted to. I'm sure you have experience like that, and that's where you wrote the song from. But does it ever happen when you're like gonna go on stage or whatever, or is it just like totally random?
Well, I haven't actually had panic attacks. And I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. I have had moments of pretty bad anxiety. Um, but I wrote the song. I was watching a lot of Sopranos, and
Yeah,
Tony Soprano was having panic attacks, and
right.
I just it was just a really interesting. Sometimes I like to kind of write about things that interest me. So I haven't had a full blown panic attack like what you're mentioning, um, but no, that doesn't happen on stage or before stage for me. Yeah, you know,
That's what's interesting to me
yeah,
is like when you say that you guys look at each other when something goes wrong and something
sure.
messes up, and instead of freaking out, you just smile about it and laugh
Yeah,
about
you
it.
laugh it
Like
off. Yeah.
having that kind of just comfortable feeling on stage is wild to me. And when I do have anxiety or like little panic attacks, it's never in a situation where you would think I would. I
Well,
can go
exactly.
and do
Yes.
big things and be in front of big crowds and speak on a
Yes.
stage and I'm totally fine. And then I'm at a grocery store and
Right.
I'm
No, it
feeling, you
doesn't.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because it doesn't work that way. It's not situational. Your body
Right.
is just experiencing. I've had that too. It makes no sense. When you're going to have anxiety, and I know when it's happening, and I have ways to deal with it.
Totally.
But the thing with performing, I mean, first of all, part of that is experience. I'm 57. I've been doing this forever, and we're on our 40th anniversary. So experience says a lot as far as any sort of nerves or whatever, as far as live performance. But it's also preparation. I mean, we prepare a lot, we rehearse a lot. So when we walk out on stage, we know what to expect from everybody, not only the band, but the crew, our lighting director, our laser director, our sound man, our monitor, like everybody is really, really rehearsed. And I think that sometimes, if you're talking about situational anxiety, like you're nervous before a show, a lot of times that's because somebody feels unprepared, you know. Uh,
Mm.
so that preparation, is a big, big part of it.
Right. Yeah, you just said something really crazy, dude. Like, if you really think about it, that it's the 40th anniversary of Dream Theater and you're 57 years old.
Yeah.
Like that is just so crazy to me. Were you
Yeah.
just right off the bat, like as soon as you picked an instrument up, like I want to do this for a living. I want to be a musician. I want to be a rock star.
Yes. 100%. Totally.
I love it,
Do
dude.
it.
And
Yeah.
do you still feel like a teenager when
Yes.
you have a new album come
Yes,
tour?
totally. Well, especially because I'm still playing in the same band with like my, middle school friend and my like college freshman friend. It's like the same guys. Um, there's still that incredible excitement and wonder or whatever you want to call it about being able to do this. And it's also a lot of humility because that any career in the arts is really hard. There's no guarantee. So
Right.
we're grateful for the success we've had. I always think about like how I'm able to play guitar for a living. Like that's crazy. How many people want to do that and can't and aren't able to. So yeah,
Yeah.
it blows me away.
Dude, well, yeah, it's fantastic. And whenever I see you play guitar, I'm like, how does he do that? And I was wondering, do you have a guitar player that you look at or listen to and you're like,
Oh
whoa,
yeah.
how do you do that? You
Oh
know?
yes. I mean, so many. Back when he was alive, Alan Holdsworth is one of those players where I would just watch, like, how how do you play guitar like that? That's like insane. Um, I'm a big fan of Tommy Emmanuel. I've seen him live a bunch of times, and he has such command over the acoustic guitar. Like I'm like, what? I'm just like laughing, crying, like, how the hell is he doing that? It's crazy.
See, that's good to know that you
Yeah.
feel the same way when you see, because it's intimidating for me. I see you or someone your caliber playing guitar and I want to throw mine away. Uh, so
Well, we
I'm
don't want
glad that
that to
you,
happen.
yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, another thing I was going to ask you is, obviously you write music, you write guitar stuff, but you also write lyrics. What is the difference between the two? And I mean, like, do you have a different approach when you're writing either way, or does one come more naturally to you and the other one you have to seek out more?
I think writing music comes more naturally because the guitar is an extension of my creativity as a creative person. That's the vehicle I chose was guitar. With lyrics, there's more like crafting that's involved. I love it just the same. It's another art form. I love storytelling. Uh, and I love the sounds of words and the meanings of words and kind of being clever with that. But I think that takes a little bit more of like sitting down and you know taking the time crafting things, um because I'm not a writer. I'm not like a novelist or anything. You know what I mean? Like somebody that
Hmm.
that's their trait. That's what they do. So it it's kind of like we were talking about math. Like I'd have to go back and like redo it. So if it's not something you do constantly, then it definitely takes more time to craft. It's not as like natural as just playing guitar for me or writing a riff or coming up with a chord progression, whatever it is. That's really natural, you know?
Gotcha. For lyrics, do you have to be like, all right, Thursday, I gotta sit down and figure
Yes.
something out?
Yes, 100%. What I usually have to do, just to give you an example for this album,
Hmm.
the band has always worked in the way where we write the music first. Then once the music is written, um, we go about recording all the instruments, and the vocals come last. So I sort of have, and I do write a lot of the lyrics, so I have a lot of that is on my shoulders. But um, I kind of have a date, like okay, excuse me. On this album, I think we started the lyrics, we started the vocal track in July. Okay, so I have till July 1st to write four lyrics, so like I know my deadline, and it's totally all right. Monday, I'm doing it.
I love
Um,
that. And
yeah,
so when
yeah.
you sit down, do you sit down and you go, "Oh, so I've been watching The Sopranos a lot lately," or is it sometimes that you're just watching The Sopranos or you're doing something and you get, hit with some motivation like, "Oh, this would actually make a cool song."
Well, yeah. I mean, that happens a lot. It's kind of a combination. On this album, there was a little bit more concentrated direction because I had the idea of calling it Parasomnia a while back, and that is in fact ended up being the title of the album. And the concept was that all the songs were going to be written about some sort of parasomnia event, which means like a sleep disturbance event. So night terrors, sleep paralysis, sleepwalking, like all weird shit that happens to people. So I had the subject matter. So, once having the subject matter, then it has to kind of link up with the feeling of the song. If the song is really dark and like you said, panic attack. I mean, the music of that song, it feels like a panic attack. It's like insane.
Right?
Um, so that's the other thing, is that the subject needs to match what the how the song feels. So that helps me to pick a topic as well.
Cool, dude. I love getting insights like that because these are the questions that just keep me up at night. Like, so how did
Yeah,
this
sure.
and how you know?
Yeah, how'd you think of this or that? Yeah, I got you.
Right, absolutely. So I know that some musicians prefer being in the studio and writing music, doing the writing sessions, and other people love being out on the road and touring and going to new places. Do you have a preference? Is there one that you love, one that you hate, or do you love it all? What's your preference?
Honestly, I love it all. I could live in the studio. I love that environment. I love being creative and the whole vibe, just being in your own space with the guys, or even if it's just you and the engineer, and having fun capturing sounds and playing. I mean, I literally could just live in there. But then once I get on the road, I'm like, live. There's nothing like live performance. Interacting, the challenge of trying to like play this stuff live and having to have all your chops ready. And then, as you mentioned, you're touring the world, seeing great places. You get to travel, um, and that's a wonderful thing as well. So I kind of, I love it all. It's great.
Right on, dude. Well, you're going to be here really soon, this upcoming Tuesday at the Maverik Center, which is a great venue. I'm sure you're going to have a great time there, and I can't wait to see you. Do you have any like memories or anything like that attached to Salt Lake? I mean, obviously you've been touring for so many years. I don't know if it's if
Well,
everything
I
kind of
do.
blends together or
No, I do remember something that at the time, the governor was Governor Huntsman, and he's like a Dream Theater fan, and he made this Dream Theater Day in Salt Lake City.
what?
Yeah. Hmm.
Dude,
Yeah.
how did I not know that? I need to
Yeah,
go
I don't
look
know.
up when that day is.
Actually, I could probably tell you. Hold on a second. Let me see something.
How cool would it be
Apparently,
if it was the day you'll be here?
I don't think it is, but apparently they're doing some sort of like documentary
Hmm.
about that. Let me hold on one second. Let me look this up.
Oh, you do it, dude.
Uh, Salt Lake City. So Dream Theater Day, it was declared July 30th.
July 30th. All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna put that on my calendar, dude, and make sure that
yeah,
I just listen to Dream Theater all day
yeah.
every July 30th.
It's in the Utah State Archives. Dream Theater Day Declaration
Wow,
is
that is
July 30th.
awesome, dude.
Isn't that
Right
crazy?
on.
Yeah, yeah.
Has that happened to you in other states before?
No, no.
Wow. I know
Yeah.
that the dude in Albuquerque, I think, is a big metalhead, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's wild. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I always see him going on stage with like the cavaleras and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right on. Cool, dude. Well, I can't wait to see you. Like I said, this upcoming Tuesday, it'll be my first Dream Theater show. So
Oh wow, nice.
yeah, I
Cool.
don't know what to expect really, but I expect to have my mind blown, dude. And I
All
can't wait
right.
to see you guys with Mike Portnoy again. I mean, this is the show to be at, dude. I'm super
Yeah.
excited.
I think a lot of people feel the way you feel, and that's why a lot of these shows are selling out, and if not close to it. So, the excitement is out there. So I hope you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Dude, I'm sure I will. Thank you so much for giving me your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your tour. And like I said, can't wait to see you, man.
Sounds good. Sorry about the no video. The internet here is horrible. So,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
yeah.
no worries, dude. It was
All
just good
right, man.
for you to answer all my crazy questions. So
No,
thank you.
I liked your questions. They were great. Good job.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, dude. Have a good one. And
All
yeah,
right.
see you soon.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.